What is up, YouTube? It is Angelo coming at you from Fear the Beard Football Channel. This is my third video I'm making today. I'm just kind of breezing through my predictions of the AFC East. So, throughout the week, I can kind of just put them out as the week goes on, so I can have content to release to you guys a little more frequently, because I've kind of slacked on my videos over the last week. So that's my fault, and I'm going to correct that mistake. I'm covering the AFC East right now. This was the hardest division to kind of predict and see where they were going to go, because I like the Dolphins' improvements. I like the Jets, and I have my theory on the Pats, and I'm going to save that to the end. So Patriots fans out there, I want you to understand, you're not going to like where I have them ranked, but I just want you to listen to me, because I have a theory to it that, I think even if you don't like what I have to say about it, you're probably going to understand why I have them there and understand what my theory is. So just stay tuned for that. And, but let's just dive right into it. First of all, the Buffalo Bills, I have them going 11-5. I had them starting out 4-0, beating the Jets, the Dolphins, the Rams, and the Raiders. So they're going to start out pretty hot, and then I think they're going to hit a bit of a snag right in the middle part of the season, where they're going to lose to the Titans, the Chiefs, and the Jets. I had the Jets stealing a win because I don't feel like they're going to be out of the playoff hunt at that point. And I feel like they're going to be competing. So, and we all know, like last year, their game was really tight. We all remember the 17-16 matchup that they had. And I feel like that's going to be kind of what is going to happen again in this one, and the Jets are going to be able to steal one. And to be honest, I can't remember who won that game, so, but I just remember the score of it, and I remember it being a dogfight. So, coming into their 8th game of the season, I have them beating the New England Patriots and then losing to the Seahawks. So at this point, I have them 5-4 through 9 games of the season. And this is where I really have them kind of hitting their stride late into the season and kind of finishing out strong, during that little bit of a snag. Because for a good while, I had them losing 4 out of 5 after starting out 4-0. So, but yeah, they're going to hit their stride at the end of the season, kind of tighten things up, in my opinion, and make a good push to the playoffs, where I have them beating Arizona and then beating the Chargers. But I do have them losing to the 49ers, but then going on a 4-game win streak at the end of the season, just like they did in the beginning of the season, beating the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Denver Broncos, the New England Patriots, and then the Miami Dolphins. So I just like this team. We know what their defense is. We know they're going to win their games with their defense. Josh Allen made great strides from year 1 to year 2, and I think that's only going to continue on from year 2 to year 3. I could be wrong on that, but there's nothing that has, been put in front of us that has said that he won't. So, and I like that they added Stephon Diggs. That's only going to make him better. So, he's got a little bit of a, security blanket there, or kind of a big play threat, whereas we know he's just going to kind of go across the middle to Cole Beasley a lot like he did the year before. And then they also have John Brown for him to throw to. So, they have that deep threat there with him as well. Devin Singletary, I think he'll make bigger strides and become more involved in the run game. So, and honestly, they're just the strongest team in the division, in my opinion. That's nothing to take away from the Dolphins, Jets, and Patriots, because, those are great. The Dolphins haven't been the best organization, but I'm not going to crap on somebody else's team. That's not what I'm here to do. So, but that's nothing to take away from those guys, because I think, like my next team, the Dolphins, they had a great offseason. They did great in the draft. They signed some guys and spent some money. So I like what they did, but I think that, it's best to just let Fitzpatrick run the offense for a year, let Tua Tagovailoa learn, and, kind of get fully healthy, and then come into, the offseason. And I don't know if they're going to spend more money, but they have a lot of draft picks. So, kind of fill holes through the draft like they did this year, and then just kind of run out with Tua and, go from there. And I feel like they're going to be more competitive the following year. Not saying they're not going to be competitive this year, because I think they will be. So let's go over their schedule. They're going to lose their first 2 games, in my opinion, to the Pats and the Bills. They are going to beat the Jaguars. Then they go on a 3-game losing streak where they lose to the Seahawks, the Niners, and the Broncos. It's a very rough stretch. And, that's just my opinion there. So I have them starting out 1-5. They obviously get a bit more competitive, in my opinion, after that, winning against the Chargers and the Rams. So that's going to push them up to a 3-5 record, where I have them ultimately losing to the Arizona Cardinals. And then I have them losing to the Jets, which they have back-to-back games against the New York Jets. I have them splitting that. So losing the first one, then beating them in the second game. Then they go on to Cincinnati, where I think they'll win. Then they play the Chiefs. I think they'll lose that game. They end up beating the Patriots and then the Raiders, and then I have them losing to the Buffalo Bills. So if you were following along with that, I have them going 7-9. So I had them starting out 1-5 in the first 6 games, and then I have them going 6-4 the rest of the season and just being more competitive. So they obviously got better. They posted a 5-11 record the year before, so they're only going to get better. I just think that I love Ryan Fitzpatrick, but I don't think he's good enough to take this team to the playoffs. Not saying they're a bad team, but I think next year they're going to be even more competitive. Do they go with Fitzpatrick the whole season? I don't know, but I think that it's the right move to make. Let's move on to the Jets. I'm going to get this out of the way. I have them going 6-10 this season. I do like getting Mekhi Becton because they needed to get someone to protect Sam Darnold. My big thing is, Sam Darnold was 20 when he came into the league. He left after his sophomore season, if I'm not mistaken. So this is going to generally be where a quarterback is in his rookie season. So, yes, he does have NFL experience, but he's growing into his body. You're obviously not done growing until you're about 25. I mean, you're done growing height-wise, but he hasn't, come into his main body yet. He has more to learn when it comes to being an NFL quarterback. And a lot of it has to do with Adam Gase. Now, he's free from the old GM, so now it's kind of his team. But Adam Gase has historically run one of the slower offenses, going back to his Miami Dolphin days. And we obviously saw the same thing last year. I like their defense because I love C.J. Mosley. I love Jamal Adams. I think Quinnen Williams can make those make bigger strides. He just didn't do a lot last year to kind of, show that he was worth that number 3 overall pick. But it's just one season, so he has a whole career in front of him. And he has the talent to be one of the better defensive tackles in the game. So Le'Veon Bell, though, he's about 30 years old. He doesn't have that offensive line that he had in Pittsburgh that helped him put up the numbers that he was putting up. Plus, all that abuse that he went through with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then even going back to his days with the Michigan State Spartans back in college, and in high school, too. This man was just they just ran their offense through him in all phases of his career, whether it be high school, college, or the professional level. And that takes a toll on you, regardless of whether you missed a whole season or not. He's still 30 years old, and we know what a 30-year-old running back is. There's outliers. You have Frank Gore, who is, a total anomaly. I think, honestly, we're going to have to start comparing running backs to different age groups of Frank Gore. Such and such reminds me of the 27-year-old Frank Gore. This guy is basically 32-year-old Frank Gore, if you kind of get my drift. Hats off to him, though, for, signing, I believe it was with the New York Jets. So he's a Patriot signing away from completing the, AFC East bingo, so to speak, if you kind of catch my drift on that. But let's dive into the Jets' schedule real quick. I think that they're a team that, like the Miami Dolphins, they're going to be more competitive in the future, and I think this is just an outlier season for them. I do have them starting out 0-4. I had them losing to the Bills. I had them losing to the 49ers, then the Indianapolis Colts, and then the Denver Broncos. And then it's kind of a flip-flop from the Buffalo Bills. I had them winning 4 games in a row and then losing their next 3. I have the Jets losing their first 4, but going on a 3-game win streak, beating the Cardinals, the Chargers, and then picking up a division win against the Bills where they catch a little bit of steam. This is actually the best stretch, actually. This little 6-game stretch that I'm about to go on, it's so funny. They're almost polar opposites of what I have with the Buffalo Bills because, like I said, on that 3-game win streak, I have them losing to the Chiefs, but then beating the Patriots and the Dolphins. So in the middle, they go 5-1 and win majority of their games, and this puts them at a 5-5 mark in a competitive position. It gets a little bit harder for them. They have back-to-back games against Miami, which I feel like Miami will take the second game. I do have them losing to the Raiders and then the Seahawks. I have them losing to the Rams. I have them losing to the Browns, and then I have them beating the New England Patriots to end the season. Now, there's a lot of outliers. I think the Jets are a team where they can go 6-10, and that's where I have them. They can also make a playoff push. If Sam Darnold comes out and makes huge strides, then they are going to be good. I think they lack on the receiving corp. They don't have an established tight end, in my opinion. I think Le'Veon's going to take a step back. Which I think it's going to help him that they did get Frank Gore, but I just think he's going to take a step back. So, but I do believe down the road they're going to be more competitive. I need to see how they're going to, spend some money in the offseason, and I need to see who they're going to get in their draft. They are They're an offensive line away from actually being very competitive. So, hats off to the Jets. Even if you do go 6-10, I still like your team, and I feel like you guys have a lot of potential to actually compete with the Bills for the division. More so than I think with the Dolphins, and that's not taking away from the Miami Dolphins. Now we're going to move on to the New England Patriots, and this is where my video is going to go longer than I'm trying to make my videos right now. And it's because, okay, first off, Patriot fans, I want you to stay tuned and listen and hear me out. You guys went on a phenomenal 20-year stretch that'll never be repeated again. It might, but I highly, highly, highly doubt it. But I think there's going to be massive regression this year. And here's why. First of all, I want to say, the defense is good. They're definitely, in my opinion, a top 10 defense. I like Stephon Gilmore. They have the McCourty brothers. They have Dante Hightower. I like a lot of their pieces that they have. I don't know anything about Jarrett Stidham. I mean, I watched him in college, and I felt like he was a good college quarterback. I don't know what he is as an NFL quarterback. That's what I mean by that. Sony Michel, the jury's still out on him. Same thing with Devin, or what's his name? I think it's Devin Harris. But you guys know, the running back they got from Alabama a year ago. And then there's Rex Burkhead there. They have pieces because you guys have Julian Edelman. N'Keal Harry, is he going to take his next step in that offense? What's Jacoby Myers going to be like? I liked him in the preseason, and I feel like he has potential to carve out a solid role in that offense. But I have them going 4-12, but just listen to this real quick. Okay, here's why. I think Bill Belichick has a plan. First of all, he went on this massive run. He does not care about losing. He really doesn't. It doesn't affect Bill Belichick whatsoever. He's the guy, one bad season is not going to push him out. Let's go back to the year that they lost to the Eagles in the Super Bowl. All right. This was, first of all, when the wheels started to kind of fall off the whole Brady Belichick thing. We know that's the year that he traded away Jimmy Garoppolo, and that was not his decision. He wanted to trade away Tom Brady, and the deal was all but done with the 49ers to send him there before Robert Kraft just straight vetoed it and was like, no, Tom's done so much for our organization, you are not getting rid of him. Thus, Jimmy Garoppolo leaves and goes to the 49ers, and we all know how that turned out. But that's what Bill Belichick wanted, to continue his dynasty with Jimmy Garoppolo. We know in the past that he just gets rid of players before they, fall off that cliff. Now, has Tom Brady fallen off the cliff? I mean, we saw signs of it last year, but I don't know. I mean, maybe he turns it around in Tampa Bay. But we just know that he is very okay with losing, because let's go to this. The Miami game that they lost at the end of the season, I think he just, first of all, just go back and watch that game. If you have time, go back and watch it. There was a lot of similarities in that game to the Super Bowl. Now, he didn't go out and bench anybody, aka, or i.e. Malcolm Brown, or Malcolm Butler, kind of losing my train of thought right now. But anyway, you see him not pacing the sidelines, not making his in-game adjustments. He will not even look Tom Brady's direction and kind of discuss certain things that's going on in that game. And he's just like, you know what? If you're going to win this game, you're going to win it on your own. And they ended up losing that game. It was on a freak play, I believe. Was that the year that they had that lateral? I can't remember, but it was like 2 years in a row where they lost on the last game of the season to the Miami Dolphins. I just can't remember if that's the one. But, yeah, no, he was just like, if you're going to win this game, you're going to do it on your own. And he just took himself out of coaching at that point. So, and I mean, he's that petty of a guy. He really is. I think majority of the Pats' success is because of Bill Belichick. I'm not trying to take anything away from Tom Brady. I'm really not, because, you know, he's a great quarterback. He really is. But I think that a lot of it has to do with Bill Belichick being the greatest coach in the NFL. But no, then let's go to the Super Bowl. I think that he was like, it was the same thing. He's like, if you're going to win the Super Bowl, dude, you're going to do it on your own. It was the same thing. You didn't see him making his in-game adjustments. You never saw him sit there and try to talk to Tom Brady like he normally does with like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we're going to be doing. You didn't see that at all. You just see him kind of pacing the sidelines, whatever, like kind of casually walking, doing all that. Go back and watch it. I'm telling you, like I sat here and looked at this and I was like, that was when the relationship started to sour. It really started with him wanting to trade Tom Brady, but these two games in particular was where it was like that relationship had really soured. And then, you know, obviously benching Malcolm Butler, who was the Super Bowl 49 hero, and everything just kind of fell apart from that after that. You know, they went on, you know, the next season or two, the Patriots were what they were. They won the Super Bowl the next year. Then they lose to the Titans in the, you know, wild card game this past year. This is my plan. He's okay with losing, as I've just sat there and went and explained it to you guys, because I felt like you guys deserved an explanation why I have this theory in my head. He's okay with losing, and I think he sees a couple guys at quarterback that he truly wants to continue his great historic run with. Whether it be Trevor Lawrence or whether it be Justin Fields. Now you can sit here and be like, well, if he's going to go after Justin Fields, why would he not go after Cam? Cam does not fit the Patriot way. He's too flashy, too flamboyant, all of that. Justin Fields, go back and watch QB1 Beyond the Lights. This man's very humble, doesn't really sit there and get loud. You don't hear anything out of him. He's a very humble guy. And I feel like that's who's going to wind up a Patriot is Justin Fields. And I think that's going to be the next quarterback for the New England Patriots. I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. Either that or he's going to find like a veteran quarterback that fits his style. Those are my two things. But I think that this is just going to be a tank year. I think he has a plan, and he's going to see his plan through no matter what. He does not care what he has to do. So let's go to their schedule. I have them going 4-12, beating the Dolphins, losing to the Seahawks, the Raiders, the Chiefs, beating the Broncos, losing to the 49ers, the Bills, the Jets, the Ravens, the Texans. I have them beating the Cardinals, losing to the Chargers, beating the Rams, just to kind of rub it in their face that we beat you in the Super Bowl, we can beat you whenever we want to. Then losing to the Dolphins, Bills, and Jets. So, Patriot fans, I want you to understand, if you think I'm an idiot, if you're mad at me for giving them this record, dude, I completely understand. I really do. I just want you to understand I don't even have my team finishing out good this season. So, you know, I have us losing massively, even though I felt like we had a decent off season. But I just want you to understand that I think that this is just 1 year. And then after that, I believe the AFC East is going to become one of the most competitive divisions, whereas it's lacked that in so long. But I believe he has a plan in place, and he has a specific quarterback he wants, and Bill Belichick will do whatever it takes to get the guy that he wants. So, you know, understand this. Maybe the diehard Patriot fans will understand where I'm coming from, and that's one thing that I like is we're going to get those bandwagoners out of there. You know, and I'm not a Patriot fan. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. To be honest, I don't like the Patriots just because I'm originally from New York, so we just generally don't like anything Boston related. But I'm a football fan and I'm a sports fan, so I understand I respect the dynasty. I respect the greatness that it's been. And I mean, like, I have to be as unbiased as I possibly can. But none of my dislike for, you know, anything Boston or anything like that really has anything to do with this record. It just all has to do with the fact that I think Bill Belichick himself has a plan. And then I feel like it's just going to go right back to where it was right after that. So next year is going to be a whole lot different, in my opinion. So if you guys are comfortable with taking one season where, you know, it just doesn't look good, then y'all are set, really. I think you're going to retain so many guys. I think they're going to probably spend a little bit of money. He obviously drafts phenomenal, as we've seen. So the future is very bright. I just think that there's going to be one season where there's going to be like that little tiny blemish, and it's all under a plan. So I'm going to stop rambling, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you liked it, and, you know, just understand that was not anything from a biased opinion. I wanted to explain that, so to speak, with why I feel like that's going to be the record, so you didn't, you know, kind of sit there and think I'm an idiot. I at least had a thought process behind this, because if it was any other season, I'd have you guys right there in the playoff discussion. So I'm signing off today. I'm going to be making another video on the AFC West. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video and you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button and turn that bell notification on. It's only going to help my channel out, so I could just kind of put out better content for you guys, you know, and eventually just make this a career so I can put out the best possible content that there is to offer. I hope all of you guys have a wonderful day. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your week. Have a good day.